think we've all said it before when you're going on vacation is, it's vacation, let's spend a little bit more. But sometimes we don't spend as wisely as we should, and we get taken advantage of. Today we're going to talk about 4 things you can do to make sure you don't get taken advantage of and what we can do to change it.
I'm Lost Jay. I've traveled the world and spent over 20 years in hospitality with companies like Disney, Marriott, and Hilton. And I'm going to share my knowledge so you can plan your best vacation.
You know what? I hate paying too much for vacation. I hate feel like I got taken, like if I was going to a car dealership. But every time we go, there's always those 1 to 2 little places I go that I'm like, oh man, I know I paid too much. Which makes the first one for me the easy one. If you could see the landmark from the restaurant and you could take a selfie, then you're already paying to see that landmark.
Here's a few examples. Paris, Eiffel Tower, area around it, uber expensive, mediocre food. Orlando, Florida, Disney is the epicenter for painfully expensive meals. You gotta go a little bit further out to get to something more local. And here at Pensacola Beach, there's actually a toll that smacks you in the face that says, welcome to the beach. And welcome to restaurants with amazing views and really overpriced food.
And what's even more upsetting for me? It's probably a worse meal. I've gotten much better meals when I'm not right next to the icon. They tend to be cheaper food, they tend to try to get you through like cattle, and they try to just turn the table and get someone else in. Terrible experience. You know, sometimes when you're on a vacation and you get robbed, you don't need someone to do it to you, you do it to yourself. And one of those ways we rob ourselves is if we don't book those flights early enough. If you're taking a domestic flight and you don't book at least 3 months in advance, you're gonna be paying more for that flight, probably about $130 on average. Internationally, if you don't book at least 8 months in advance, you're gonna be paying about $100 to $200 more for the flight, if not more. The days and era of getting a cheap flight at the last minute are gone. Make sure you plan. Make sure you think about your trip in advance so you can get the best deal on tickets, because if you book it at the last minute, you're gonna pay for it. If you have kids, and even if you don't, here's a word of advice. If the kids are out of school, the prices are gonna be more expensive. If you can, travel in the off season and you'll get a much better rate. You know, one of the biggest scams for me. So my local pizza place decided to make the pizza smaller, but charge me the same amount. When you first get it, you're like, what is going on? Yesterday I had a pizza that was 24 inches big and today it's 18 inches big. And they're like, oh, we didn't want to raise the prices, so we made the pizza smaller. So you gave me less, but charged me the same amount. And the piece in travel that's like that for me is getting luggage on an airplane. It used to be, you could just bring on luggage and it was included in the price of the ticket. But rather than raise the price of the ticket initially, all they did was charge you for luggage. Overnight, if you pay $45 for a bag, you go overweight by 50 pounds. If you go 51 pounds, that same bag is $100. And if you go to 70 pounds, it's $200. And let's not forget, if you go over the size limit, not just weight, the size, there's an extra fee on top of that. How many times when you're checking in luggage have you seen someone that's like 53 pounds on their luggage and they open it up and they're pulling out shoes and coats and they're shoving it into their carry-on because they're desperate to hit that weight limit? Here's an easy fix. Go on Amazon, $15. You can get a little scale that's gonna tell you what your bag weighs, or at least get it close. You know, if you think you're gonna be a little bit off, maybe you don't put 50 pounds in it, maybe you put in 47. That gives you a 3-pound buffer to make sure when you get there that your scale wasn't off compared to theirs. Here's an even better option about luggage charges for the airline. Don't bring luggage. Check out my other video where I talk about traveling with one carry-on bag. For us, for 2 weeks, we were able to do it in one carry-on bag each. That will save you $45 and you don't have to worry about being overweight. Nothing is more expensive than a vendor that's trying to help you. Here's an example. When we went to Europe, we landed, we turned off airplane mode. Instantly, they send us a text that says, great, you're in luck. We're gonna give you a phone and data for only $10. $10 a day isn't that bad. My wife and son, though, got the same text. So now it's $10 a day for me, for them. For 14 days, $420 to have phone privileges and data while I'm overseas. Thankfully, I thought in advance and I got Olafly, which is an eSIM. I downloaded it, I activated it when we got there, I turned off my carrier, and for $142.50, I still got all the data I needed, and I used WhatsApp to make all my calls. Done. Do you know what I did with that savings? That savings equated to 5 meals at a cafe. Or, in more tangible terms, that savings equals about 81 croissants while we were in Paris. So let's add this all up. If I add up the restaurant, the phone, the airline tickets, at the end of the day, on our last trip to Europe, we saved over $1,200. You don't have to sacrifice the experience for price. Plan ahead. Look at your budget. Look where you're buying these things. And not only will you have a great time, you won't take the kick to the groin in your pocketbook when you do it. I'm Lost Jay. Get lost in your own adventure.